Okay, so in response to several requests, we had, hey, I'm going to put the camera a little tighter. Oh no, disembodied frame is pushing. That was a call out to an old Bugs Bunny Roadrunner cartoon show. Poor Donald Duck, Daffy Duck, Daffy Duck.
Don't come for us, Disney.
All right, so passing footwork is really vague, but one of the things that Kat mentioned, I thought Kat should talk about because she's peer-rated, she's an instructor in her own right, even if she hasn't been doing it quite as long as I have. Kat, what you got about this passing footwork deal?
Okay, guys, so one of the things that people tend to assume about the passing footwork in our lineage is that, well, I'm just walking. I don't know if you can see my feet, but walking is pretty boring. You don't really...
Oh, she disappeared off frame. Oh no.
Oh no, I'm back.
I will track you.
Okay, so, and when it's coupled with our cuts, I'm going to cut kind of small because of the ceiling.
Okay, hold on. We're sending the camera all over Helen Creation. This is the worst of YouTube, worst quality of YouTube ever. I'm going to now take this whole retraction off. Should we leave it all janky like this and just apologize to everybody? Yeah, we should, because this is us. We don't put on airs. That's for other fancy people. Okay, go for it.
So, I'm cutting and I'm stepping and it's kind of slow and agonizing, and the guys who lunge in their sided stances are going to murder me, and that will be sad. But it doesn't have to be that way. Just because I'm arranging my feet in a walking sort of manner doesn't mean I'm plodding as though I'm in a Russian novel and the sky is gray and I don't know, I haven't eaten even a potato for weeks.
Oh no, Russian, the finest part of Russian culture, and then things got worse.
One thing to think about is, where am I putting my weight when I'm doing my steps? If I'm back weighted and I'm sunk back on my heels, yeah, it's going to take an adjustment of my entire body arrangement before I can take this step. So of course I'm going to be plodding. Additionally, if I'm letting my weight settle back into the ground between every step, that's more plodding, that's more time that my fencing partners have to, what's the word?
Shank me.
Shank me. And that is very sad and less fun for everyone. I mean, it's, yeah. So what can we do about it? Well, I can make sure I'm up on the balls of my feet, like a lot of martial arts systems emphasize. I don't know all of them, but a lot. So when I'm passing, I can float along the ground and decide where I'm ending my footwork sequence without having to be like, you know, best footwork. I don't know if that answers the question.
I think that answers the question beautifully. I'm going to come in and talk a little bit more about that because I think you brought up something really, really important. Okay, so if I'm an attack cat,
Oh no.
you'll see this a lot. You don't see this as often as you used to. This really used to be a really common longsword trope. I want to be really aggressive, so I'm going to squat down like this, and now I can explode out of stance and then wonder why they just got stabbed in opposition in the chest over and over and over again. Well, this is really bloody inefficient. Yeah, you're killing your quads trying to use hip extension to create forward momentum. But what the nerds would call the power chain and Feldenkrais guys would call support, it's the same thing. The question is, do you want it experientially or do you want it in a biomechanics lab, aka welcome to your new math class? The biomechanics guys can tell you how it works, but they can't tell you how to do it. I can tell you how to do it, but I can't tell you how it works because I don't do that levels of calculus, sorry. I have support from the ground. I want to have all that explosiveness, but I don't want to be locked into my heels. Instead, by having the ankles up, I'm dorsiflected here, I'm inflection here, I'm inflection here. It's very easy to extend when I'm already slightly in flexion. This flexion prepares me for this spring. And with a little bit of push off from the ground, well, I can spring off this foot, like I was cutting one, boink, or I can spring off this foot and cover a little bit of distance or a lot of distance. And if my weight's back here, I have this giant transition step before I can move my foot. That big transition is like, haha, I attack. Well, any good fencer knows what to do. As soon as you start that, they hit you in the face and giggle and then step out of range and you were too slow. But if I know where I'm going to step and I have my weight appropriately, that's quick. That's not going to be spotted ahead of time. So by managing how you're shifting your weight and letting yourself come off your heels, you make it so you can prep more easily for steps and turns that get you offline. You want to watch 16 different ways of manipulating this exact thing? Go watch lightweight and flyweight boxers. Even the ones in the sided stance. You watch very closely. You will see how they play their body weight. And I recommend those guys because they can't rely on body weight knockouts like the heavyweights do. And the super heavyweights especially. So they are one of the most technical boxers you will ever see. You'll see very subtle shifts of body weight. We should also be engaged in those subtle shifts of body weight, and staying the hell off your heels is one of the easiest ways to do it. Okay, back to you.
Oh, back to me.
Back to you, because there's
Thanks,
nothing
Russ.
like putting you on the spot before we end the video.
It's my favorite. So yeah, stay off your heels and play with your footwork.
And passing footwork does not suck, he said, disconcertingly. She's laughing at me. I got to stop the video now. Grab the like button, /subscribe, and punch the little bell icon so that you're notified immediately when new content comes available. Thanks, and go do the thing.